What is up, everybody? This is Dark Macek with Brutally Delicious, coming at you with a review of Scarlet Dorn's brand new album, Queen of Broken Dreams. So here's a band I've never heard of before. I sort of intuited from their name that it was going to be a female-led sort of symphonic band. And I was right about the female vocalist part, but genre-wise, here's a band that is... I don't even think I have a word for this genre. Let's just say metal for now, but I'll talk more about it when we get into some of the songs. But just some basics, it is kind of like low-tuned guitars with melodic female vocals. I just want to disclaim right now, this band does not sound like Nightwish. So as the first song, Falling, comes on, my first thought is this is kind of like Amaranth, but not as dancey. There's some really nice piano work here that really accentuates the songs without overbearing on them. It does not sound particularly symphonic, but that's not a bad thing. It's just kind of like pop metal, and I don't mean that in the sense that some people use that phrase as a synonym for hair metal. There's definitely a strong pop sensibility to the songs. The next song, Born to Suffer, this is a really good track for sure. It sounds kind of like a radio hit without being trite or saccharine, but also having metal instrumentation. I think it's kind of known nowadays that the minute you have an electric guitar that's tuned down, or even like distorted, you're not going to get radio play. So I applaud this band for doing that, almost certainly knowing that they're not going to find that kind of mainstream success. So the title track, here's one that actually is danceable. The chorus to this is definitely something I could see a club full of people jumping around to. In terms of describing this band's style, I think I've found a good analogy. The band Volbeat, I think, is honestly musically closer to Blink-182 with guitar solos than it is to metal. I've often also used the phrasing that it's like John Fogerty writing songs for Metallica. So in that vein, I would say that Scarlet Dorn is more like pop songs written for a metal ensemble. Some other notes on some of the other songs. A Light That Blinds the Truth had a really cool chorus and a cool groove in the verses. Meteor was a really beautiful ballad. And When I See You Again was yet another highlight, but I think the best song on the album by far was Love Wasn't Made for Me. This song really took me back to a bunch of lonely nights when I was like 17 and thought I'd never meet anybody, while also being musically exciting. I get the feeling some people might take this comparison harshly, but it was a bit like a metal Taylor Swift. So this is definitely an eye-opening new album. Again, I can't think of another band to really compare them to except Amaranth, but less dancey. And I'm really excited to see what they do next. Rock on, everybody. Great job.
Ever wonder what a punch from Elton John feels like?
Or how you'd cope with having turned down the chance to be in Nirvana?
Or what signal Keith Richards gives when he wants you to get the hell out of his hotel room?
Fans of Too Much Effing Perspective don't have to wonder, because they've heard these exact stories and a jillion others on our podcast. I'm Alex Hoffman, former tour manager for Radiohead.
And I'm musician and comedy writer Alan Keller. On the TMEP show, we get guests like Nancy Wilson from Heart, Jeremiah Freites from the Lumineers, and Modern Family's Julie Bowen to tell us things they may have only shared with their therapist, clergy, or a TMZ stringer.
So join us on Too Much Effing Perspective. That's EFFING Perspective. The only podcast you crank up to 11.